welcome to the GCW Plant Podcast, Episode 20. Once again with us, Mr. John J. Wolf, and today we are covering GCW's Effys Big Gay Brunch 5. And this will be the last event of the Art of War weekend, and it's been a fun, crazy, violent weekend, and now the entertainment starts with Effy's Big Gay Brunch. And I just remember last year's was very entertaining. A lot of in-ring stuff, a lot of high spots and people jumping off of platforms that's super up high that you didn't really see on this one, but it was a nice, fun, and entertaining show. Before we get into it, John, what do you have for pre-show remarks?
Yeah, so normally I like to do these pre-show remarks, and the first thing I will say for especially Effy's Big Great Gay Brunch, wow, here's how we start. So basically, I'm super tired, so this kind of works also. But yeah, for Effy's Big Gay Brunch, the one thing I kind of wanted to say was I'm going to make sure, especially with this, is to keep sensitivity of pronouns as much as possible. I'm going to make sure I do them to the best of my ability, and of course, B is going to do his to the best of his ability. I'm going to try to default to maybe even a they if necessary, but I want you to know that some of these performers I'm new to, so I may not absolutely know exactly what they want to be spoken to as. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time that's going to something that we feel is fair and respectful to the community to just mention it up front, because we're really here to just talk about GCW, and we want to make sure that it's really about the love of GCW and obviously, yes, each other. So I think that's my first little remark, but here we roll. So we are welcomed by J. Rose to the Effy's Big Gay Brunch. Pollo Del Mar is introduced. She comes out and says hello to the Chicago fans and runs through her many accolades, hypes up the crowd and announces the performers for the night. And I believe we see Fur Cassidy up in the background there. So it was really a good sized crowd. I was really surprised by how much, because I was looking at that Settlement Series crowd and I'm going, okay, where's this one going to land? And there was a very good sized crowd there. And I'm always happy to see a good crowd. So that was absolutely fantastic. That's where I land on the beginning of this. It was a really good show. I'm hoping they all ate well, because I heard there was really good food. I know Effy also said something on his podcast about them having a nice brunch with real food. So I'm hoping they really enjoyed themselves over there. I enjoyed myself watching this. So rock and roll, my friend.
Yeah, there was a way bigger crowd than the Settlement Series, that's for sure. And it's good to see, because this was, like I said, last year's show was super entertaining. And I was going into this one thinking it's just going to be a fun, entertaining night of action. I saw some of the matches and stuff, and there was a lot of new names, as you said at the beginning. A lot of new names that I've never seen or heard of. So I was obviously, once, like I always am when I see new names, excited to see new talent, learn about new talent, and see what they could provide in a GCW ring or in Effy's Big Gay Brunch here. And my first kind of remark is it was so nice seeing J. Rose back. I love J. Rose on doing the ring announcing. His energy is crazy. I've seen him do a couple of these Scrap House shows that we're catching tomorrow, and I love his energy and like how he introduces the wrestlers. He has his own little style and flair, and he's always just in the ring dancing along to all the entrance musics and stuff too. So seeing J. Rose made me smile, because I always liked J. Rose when he was announcing for previous GCW shows before kind of MLJ hopped on more full-time. I know J. Rose was doing a lot of the shows back in the pandemic days and stuff. So it was very nice to see J. Rose back in the GCW ring. And for the first match of GCW's Effy's Big Gay Brunch, we have Devin Monroe going against Jay Vidal. And this one, I was just super excited to see Jay Vidal once again back in a GCW ring. We just saw them on the Settlement Series. And Devin Monroe, it was nice seeing them back again, too. I think I'm pretty sure they wrestled on last year's Effy's Big Gay Brunch. I'm not 100% sure. I know I've seen them somewhere. I wanted to say it was the Effy's Big Gay Brunch, but it was nice seeing Jay Vidal back for sure. What was your thoughts on this match?
So I was going to ask you a little more at some point. If you have anything more to say about Devin Monroe, I'd love to hear it maybe just a little further, because to me, he was new, or I just have seen him before and maybe not remembered at the time. He came out to great cheers. He was well received. Jay Vidal, very well received by all the fans. He was playing heel this match, Jay was, and he decided he was going to start by calling the ref stupid. So the match did finally get underway, and I was watching for a while there. It looked like Devin was kind of a newer wrestler, and I was right by some standards. He is. He just started in 2018, but really impressive. I could just see there were still some things that were new, not in a bad way. It's just these are things you kind of see where you go, he's a newer guy. Fantastic though. He's got some good moves to him, and he goes in the ring really well. I noticed Jay, because I've seen him so many times, he was somewhat reserved in this match. Same thing. He was playing more to Devin's strengths on this one. But around 8 minutes in, and the fight finally goes to the outside, but it's just for like a quick moment. Devin gets kind of thrown into about 4 rows of chairs. It's a fantastic spot. And then they finally get back into the ring. But Devin gets kicked out of the power bottom bomb, which is very rare. And I don't know how many times I've ever really seen that, but that was an attempt about 10 minutes in. But finally, our winner ended up in this one, Devin Monroe, with an impressive top rope run into a head spike onto the mat. I really hope there's a name for that move. The name wasn't used by commentary, so I don't know if they even known one either. But this was a surprising win by Devin Moore. And I'm happy to see Jay Vidal, our hometown boy.
Same thing. It was nice seeing Jay Vidal back. I was kind of surprised too. Devin won because I think I mentioned on the settlement series, like Jay Vidal's been kind of getting a pretty good push out here in Vegas. And even when Jay's wrestled for PCW, I know he held the belt out there. I forgot what belt it was, but I know Jay Vidal's been getting pushed. And he last year during Effy's Big Gay Brunch, when I was talking about the high spots and stuff at the beginning of the show, like Jay Vidal was up top and did like a front flip off of the whatever platform it was up there and onto a crowd of people and stuff like that. That was just a memory that stuck out. Like when I think of Effy's Big Gay Brunch last year, that's the moment that stands out for me. So I was pretty shocked to see Jay Vidal. It was a totally different match than the match they had with AJ Garrett. Sorry, I had a little brain freeze.
No.
Thotty Steiner. I was going to say Thotty Garrett, but I was like, wait, that's not it. JJ Garrett, Thotty Steiner. As you said, yes, it's been a long week of talking. I am tired. We're going to roll through the show, though, because it was a fun show. And totally different match than Jay Vidal had with JJ Garrett, which is nice. I like just obviously like variety, I like seeing what the wrestlers, how they could change up their styles accordingly to whatever promotion they're working with or whatever show they're on or their opponent, especially. So this was a good match. And yeah, Devin definitely improved from when I last saw. It was, now I remembered, it was this year's at the Effy's Big Gay Brunch at the Collective this year's was the last time I saw Devin Monroe. So yeah, that was a fun match. Like 13 minutes? Didn't feel like 13 minutes. It actually felt faster, which I guess is a good thing because then you're just constantly going in the ring. So I liked it. It was a nice, fun match, and surprise, yeah, Devin Monroe with the victory. And at the end of the match, Devin went to go shake on Jay's hand, and Jay, I remember, just hocked a loogie, spit at him, and then walked away. And then Devin Monroe started chasing after Jay Vidal out of the ring, and Jay was out of there. So it was a fun, entertaining match. A good way to start off the show. Great energy. The crowd was very into it too. So that will lead us into our second match of the evening. And I'm going to totally mess up this name, so bear with me here. It was a Admiral Lord Mountevans rules match. I probably said it wrong.
That's great. No, that was great. I've been working on researching this one. That is freaking right on, as much as I'm going to even do. That's the best. That's as good as it gets.
Right away, I heard this. I'm like, what is this? What kind of match? And so, yeah, it was very totally different. Felt more like back when Impact, they kind of had a little series, not King of the Mountain or whatnot, but they kind of did like an MMA kind of style matches where it's like 3 5-minute rounds, and then if it no finish, it goes to the judges. That's kind of how I took these rules. I know you have a lot of the rules and stuff, so I'll kind of let you go over it. So the participants in this match was Edith Surreal, and Mike Bailey was in Edith's corner, and Jordan Blade came out with Yokai. And I am a big fan of Jordan. I love seeing Jordan. He's like, they are super good. Jordan is amazing to watch, and it was nice seeing Edith back in a GCW ring as well. So I'll let you go on and kind of describe how this match was laid out.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm happy that you said Yokai, because again, I like seeing Janai and Yo-Yo together. That's kind of a nice little team there. Okay, so here we go. Admiral Lord Mountevans rules are a set of professional wrestling rules mainly used in the British Isles or in British wrestling. They were named after Edward Evans. He's the first Baron of Mountevans. It's a weird name. But he ordered a unified set of rules written up for professional wrestling in the British Isles. So this style of wrestling under the rule system here that they had, it was advertised by promoters as modern freestyle wrestling. Now, here's what's going on. British pro wrestling used to have an all-in rules, popular in the 1930s. These rules were the first to allow weapons and shifted the focus away from the skill aspect of wrestling. This wrestling got banned in London in the late 1930s because of the violence. Now, tell me that doesn't sound semi-familiar, right? So yeah, the all-in rules is old school, fucking hardcore. So because of this reason, then this Admiral Lord Mountevans, he formed a committee with a radio personality, a British, not the prime minister, but he was one of the members of parliament. And then he got with an amateur wrestling champion and a professional wrestling promoter. And they all kind of put their heads together and created this committee. And they made these uniform rules that all the British promotions need to follow. So when these rules came out, they kind of sent these out to the promoters. The rules were accepted by 95% of the promotions in the UK, primarily because a lot of them wanted to run in London and they were banned from running in London. And there's so much money there that they could have gotten. So this committee turned into the joint promotions. So they were saying that they were there to uphold the laws, but also they wanted to kind of control British wrestling as a whole. So in 1952, this is 20 years later, London lifted the ban on professional wrestling. Unbelievably, and also because of this Big Gay Brunch, I wanted to mention that the ban for women wrestling in London did not get lifted until 1987. So that's some significant cultural significant, well, just significant there for cultural reasons. But the rules here that they're going to follow that I'm going to mention, because the rest of them really don't mean, 2 out of 3 falls. There are going to be 6 rounds of this. So 6 rounds, 3 minutes for each round. And there's going to be a 30-second break between each round. So that's what we're going with. We're going 6 rounds, 3 minutes each, 30 seconds between. There are no strikes. You can't go outside of the ring. So this is going to be mostly holds. And they did this because at the time, this was to make sure that nobody would swing a weapon on someone. This was their answer. And the answer here was very vanilla. This was a very vanilla style of wrestling. But the funny thing, this match really was trying to hold to these rules, but it was very odd. Those are the most important ones. You really don't need to know the rest because it's a lot of, like, they name all the holds. What, you can do a quarter of this, you can do a half Nelson, you can do a 3/4 Nelson, and so on and so forth. It's boring. But yeah, most important is 6 rounds, 2 out of 3 falls, and that's where we land. So yeah, round 1, Edith had a pin within the first couple minutes there. So we have Edith 1-0. Now, the breaks, those 30-second breaks, no lie, I know that's the way it's supposed to go, but it kind of broke up the action, and it actually killed the vibe with the fans. So that's all I can really say about that. And I don't want to say anything bad, but it really did kill the vibe. It kind of quieted down the crowd. It broke the action.
Yeah, it was different seeing, but I kind of liked having Speedball in that and Edith Surreal's corner and Yokai in Jordan's corner, because you could kind of see them like how in MMA in between rounds you get the little pep talks and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice hearing them kind of pep talking Jordan and Edith up. And so they got to be kind of a part of the show, even though I know they didn't want to like overshadow the match and stuff with everything, but because they're just bystanders. But I thought that was a cool way to still have Speedball part of the show, still have Yokai part of the show, even though they didn't get physical in the ring. Like, just those little breaks. And yeah, I totally felt it too. I'm like, oh, like I that's what the one thing I never liked about when Impact did it, because it just breaks the flow of the match. I kind of wish they would do it kind of like how just a straight match until like 2 out of 3 falls would have been better without all the, I think, unnecessary rules. But it's kind of cool because this is a different kind of style to see. And obviously with Effy's Big Gay Brunch, they want to showcase different styles of wrestling, different wrestlers, different maneuvers and stuff like that. So I thought it was a cool way to introduce that, and your history of it like was awesome to learn about and stuff like that. The rules are kind of boring in my opinion, especially being a GCW fan. But luckily the Edith Surreal and Jordan, they made this kind of matches for what it is pretty entertaining. based off of the rules kind of limiting what they can do in the ring. So I was kind of the same way with the breaks, but then I kind of was looking at the positive of it, just being able to see Speedball and Yokai kind of talk. So that was pretty cool seeing, but you could tell the crowd was like, wait, what? Okay, we got to stop again. Like the up and down, crowds don't really do that too good in wrestling. Like we're up for 10, 15 minutes or we're going to be down for 30 minutes. Like the up and down in 3-minute spurts is not a good way to get fans involved in the match, but it was a nice way to introduce a new style of wrestling into this event as well.
Yeah, and you were right how like the people in the corners were kind of making it a little more colorful, kind of speak. Yo-Yo was drinking Jordan's water off and on. I don't know if you were seeing that or not. I think it was between round 1 and 2 or between round 2 and 3. I can't remember. The other surprising thing that I wrote down that I really wanted to just mention was it's so cool to find out that the fucking 1930s were hardcore. Like how cool is that? You know, like it's a nice little piece of information to know. So then we go into the second round. There's a lot more submissions and holds. Edith ends up tapping here. So now we have Edith with one and Jordan with 1. So now we go into round 3. There wasn't too much, maybe a little. I think there was. No, I'll wait because it was in a little after round 3. But KG says this is the fight that happens when you have to split the check and the mimosas run out. That was a pretty good little statement there. But Edith was using some incredible holds during this. Round 3 went to a draw. No one scored a point. So everybody's kind of going back to their corners there. And you see Jordan attack Edith on the way back. So between rounds, it ended up in a little bit of a scuffle. You know, Speedball comes out and he's acting tough. But so that leads us into round 4. So round 4, there's a lot of brawling, more or less. You end up seeing a brain buster. There's a furry counting in the background with the ref, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Both get knocked out in round 4. So basically this round was nothing. Nothing happened in this one. It counted to 4 over. The crowd chants for one more round. So finally, here we go. We're into round 5. They go back and forth, a little more of a tussle, and boom, they roll up, and both people's shoulders are down. It's a double pin for round 5. So funny thing, we end up with Edith with a 1 and Jordan with 1. So our winner is nobody. The crowd boos. We get bullshit chants. Honestly, when this is all over with, I just wanted to say that everything about it was odd. It was old school. It was an interesting pick. I think maybe for the history aspect that women couldn't even wrestle in London at that time until the 80s was something definitely that was maybe worth mentioning there. But at the end, it was nice to see that the fans really still cheered the performers for their efforts and appreciated what they did because they were still going out there and busting their ass. They had to work within the skeleton that they were given. So I'm going to be curious down the road to possibly hear from Effy or someone else what they had picked, why they'd picked the match, what reason for. Because now that I know the history and now that I understand what's going on with this match, I would like to know exactly why he'd picked it and what reason possibly. If it was just a oh hell reason, I doubt it. So I'd love to know why.
Yeah, the confusion at the end was kind of had the old school to me, like the 80s kind of like dusty finish kind of thing. Was like, wait, was there a winner? Was there someone's shoulder down?
Good point.
So like that, I like just seeing that part was kind of like, wait, who won? And like seeing the confusion. And then like, I remember seeing the background, like 2 people were kind of pointing to Edith. And then like the one person they were talking to were like, no, like Jordan, like look, the Jordan shoulders or Edith's shoulders were down. Jordan got the win. But yeah, it was weird. It was interesting. I think, as you said, they did the best that they could do because I was kind of skeptical going into this round once I saw the rules and kind of heard about the rules. I was like, oh, how are they going to play this out? But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and it like they got to showcase different styles of wrestling, which I'm all for. I'm all for the variety of seeing different styles, different matchups, different rules, and stuff like that. So this was a very entertaining match, and they definitely did as best they could. But all the rules kind of, like you just said, handcuffing them. So going back to how you said, I would have liked to know why Effy picked those 2 for that rules. Like, was there, I don't know, like maybe they have a backstory of a previous feud and maybe this was like a way to kind of burn off the feud. I have no idea. I would just kind of would be wondering why those 2 competitors were picked to have a match with these kind of rules and stuff like that too. But shout out to or credit, shout out, whatever, to Jordan and Edith for making it entertaining. I loved, like I said, Speedball Yokai 2, adding a little bit more MMA. Kind of felt like a MMA kind of match, especially like I think that was the end of one of the rounds where Jordan ended up kicking Edith like away from them, and then like, get out of here, and like you see the corners kind of getting in between the fighters. Come back to our corner. We only got 20 seconds. Like, hurry up. So I like that kind of feeling, but I just wish they didn't limit the strikes and stuff like that. But it was cool seeing like that whole second round being all submissions and technical and on the ground. So I was all for it, but like as it played out, I was for it. But before the match, I was like, I don't know how that's gonna play out.
Well, we can all say that we sound one, or we've at least seen one of these matches, though, and we can all just say now we watched this and we listened to this and got smarter today. So
yes, and now next time if they ever have another match, I know the rules and kind of know what to expect headed into this match. For our third matchup of the evening, it is the gayest tag gauntlet match. I probably totally butchered that one there, but the competitors, the teams in this match, we have the McQueens, the Runway, Money, Power, Respect, MSP, Joey Mayberry, and Mateo Valentine. And this one, all new people to me. So I was kind of just really trying to figure out who is who again and who's on whose team at the beginning. And then try to put the names to the performers and stuff like that. So I was like, this match all to me was all about learning. So I didn't really get too much into like how the match played out or any of that stuff. It was a pretty fun. They had a lot of stuff going on in this match. So it was definitely fun. A lot of stuff going on. But yeah, this was a learning experience to me, learning all these competitors and stuff like that.
Okay, no kidding. This was probably one of the most difficult ones for me to review because there were so many new people. So we're talking 2, 4, 6. I know Pollo. 8, 10, and I'll take away one of the McQueens. So yeah, there's 9 new competitors here in this gauntlet match. So for me at first, it was a hellish thing to do. This is an 18-minute match, so no lie, there was a lot of work put in it. On my end and theirs. But yeah, it probably took me a good 30 some minutes to get this out, and I'm still hoping that I got this right. First out ended up being Mateo and Mayberry. I think they have great music, and it's just 100% pure love. If anybody's ever heard that song back in the 90s, I'm not going to sing it. The second one out was the Runway, weighing in at 24 karat gold. I thought that was fantastic. I love Mateo's shin pads. It's like this multiple color, the Chicago stars. You see him a lot on CM Punk. He has the same thing on his kick pads. They're awesome. The Runway performing tag team moves together when they came out looked absolutely fantastic. I heard someone say, I got legs and I know how to use them. I just don't know who said it. Klein gets his pants pulled down. He decides to wrestle with them down. So he decides at some point that he's going to do the Rikishi butt move and then does it. Mayberry Mateo was eliminated while being distracted, so that comes into our third entrance. That's going to be Money, Power, Respect with Pollo Del Mar. They are heavily cheered, I believe, out of San Francisco. They're very strong style, thick guys, very strong. They come out with a lot of double team clotheslines and into power bombs. They completely destroyed the Runway and eliminated the Runway. Fourth out, MSP. We have a dance-off. Money, Power, Respect eventually goes ahead and starts kicking their ass. I wanted to mention through MSP that Danger Kid was really exciting to watch. I'd kind of like to see him again, and Money, Power, Respect. I believe that's where MSP. No, it's not the Runway. It's not MSP. My notes finally failed me there. I forget who got eliminated off the top of my head, and process of elimination with my tiredness is not helping here. But basically then out next, and this is our last one, would be the McQueens. I wrote here that the team has great size. They may be the largest ones in this match, and that's including MSP. Plenty of personality. I really did like watching them. They really colored up the show a lot. They made it more fun to watch. And I could tell you, honestly, I wish they would have come out around number 3 or 4, because that kind of personality would have been a great refresher halfway through and would have probably carried through this match. So I feel like the matchup between the McQueens and MSP was probably the best first real matchup of this gauntlet that was really a real good quality wrestling match. I could watch those two face each other alone, but the McQueens end up pulling out a win with a pin on MSP. Yeah, this was a lot of new people to me, and I was doing my best to get through it. I've mentioned a couple people that I would like to see again. The McQueens, if they do keep those paired, I would like to see them maybe come over and see what they can do in GCW, because we're really good with accepting the type of characters that have the entertainment value that they had. So that's what I really have to say about this match. I don't know if there's anything else you can see or say, or
I like seeing all the tag moves, because obviously these are all new teams, and I always just wonder, like, what kind of tag moves are they going to put together as a team that I've never seen before? Like, are they going to kind of stick and use some old school tag team moves that we've seen before, or are they going to get kind of creative and add their own little flair and style to it, or just do something completely that nobody's ever seen before? So that's why I was kind of looking for these tag matches, especially with all these competitors, because I never saw any of them. But I forgot the team name now. The team that was in like all in the pink. Oh my god, it's I forgot the name of it. Well, the
Money, Power, Respect with Toyo.
Yeah, they were impressive. They were the ones who stood out to me because their size and like even their power moves was pretty fun watching and stuff like that. So, and Pollo does excellent job on being a manager. There's a reason why she's called the manager of champions. So
great energy too.
Yeah.
NPR has great energy.
Yeah. So I was like that. I saw them. I was like, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them in like these tag team matchups that GCW kind of has and stuff like that. But the Dylan McQueen, it was nice seeing Dylan again back on our show after we saw them at the Settlement Series. But yeah, this was a fun match, fun, entertaining match. I like how but every team was creative. They had their own little moves. I don't think they really failed too much on executing them all. They all look pretty clean. I know, like, in some spots, like, maybe they didn't get the kick high enough or whatnot. Like, that's whatever. Like, I'm not going to knock them like that. Like, this was a fun gauntlet match, or a gauntlet match, sorry, with the tag teams, because I liked how they kind of mostly stayed with the more normal, not GCW rules, but the tears and chairs and all that stuff. Like, it did get crazy outside a little bit, but not too crazy where it kind of took away from the match. I loved seeing them kind of stick to a more normal style tag team gauntlet match in retrospect. And this will lead us to our fourth matchup of the evening, as Ashton Starr goes 1-on-1 with Lightning in a Bottle, Sandra Moon. And once again, we're playing homerism here. Nice seeing Andrew Moon back. We're out here in Vegas. Seeing her back in the GCW ring is always fun for me. And this matchup with Ashton, I was very interested to see how it would play out, because I think I've seen them wrestle before for, I can't remember which company. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm thinking someone else. But if I remember correctly, though, if it was the same one matchup I'm thinking of, they had great chemistry when I saw it. And so I was kind of heading in this match thinking like, oh, I want to see them build up their second match if they had one. I could be completely wrong with my thinking, but seeing how the chemistry would build if they did wrestle before. So Sandra Moon absolutely killed it. Nice seeing her back in the GCW ring. What was your thoughts on this?
I really thought that initially both Sandra Moon and Ashton were treated really well by the fans. They were both really well received. Ashton in this match was going to be our heel, but it really didn't present itself until a little further into the match. So this almost was face-to-face for just a small amount of time. On Sandra Moon's side, I just want to give her respect for she's just putting in work so much. She's working everywhere. She's like a Billy Starks kind of situation where everywhere you look, you're going to see her on the card somehow. Like she's always traveling. She's always working. I wanted to make sure I give her respect for that. But yeah, Ashton ends up being our heel. He's getting insane boos. He draws really good heat. He's really disrespectful, and it comes off to the fans as disrespectful. But there was a point where Moon did a tope suicida onto Star. It was throwing him into the second row of chairs. Then she turns around and does it again. There's a spot with Ashton doing a great abdominal stretch. He has Moon up on like one leg. It was fantastic. There was in and out of the ring a lot, but they were really keeping it fresh, which was fantastic. They'd go out of the ring for, let's just say, a minute or so, then boom, they're back into the ring. They do a little set there, boom, back out of the ring again. So they were wrestling so well together. To me, honestly, it felt like a grudge match kind of fight. So I could see those two not getting along and carrying a grudge and maybe having a small series. They did really well together. And this is another one I think I'd like to see more. And with Sandra Moon, especially, I would like to see her over a couple more times in GCW and see stretch her out and see what she's really capable of creatively.
Yeah, I definitely want to see different matchups with her. I know I said before it was I was wrong. It wasn't Ashton Starr that the match I'm thinking of with Sandra was someone else. So yeah, I was completely wrong going into this match thinking of that. But yes, I definitely want to see Sandra Moon go against an Alley Catch, go against an Effy, go against. Well, we've seen Effy in another promotion. We saw them go against. But I think she could go against anyone. We've seen her out here in Vegas. Like the top stars out here in Vegas, she's gone up against them and held her own. And not only maybe held her own, maybe even came out even looking better than their opponents because she is super talented. And she's like one of these next, I think, breakout stars because I know Impact's had her on a couple times. I know he wrestled for like AEW Dark taping because it was out here and stuff like that. So I think she's on her way to a lot more bigger matchups, bigger names, and her star is going to keep on growing. So I'm always watching that because, like I said, she's just constantly growing, getting better every time. Ashton, I liked Ashton in this match. He, like as you said, it felt like there was like some sort of bad blood and stuff like that. And this was like I think probably match wise, one of the better matches of the night, just all together because it told a great story. They all had very good moves in the ring. They all played it perfectly. The timing, the pacing of the match was spot on. The heel work, the face like this was a really good match. I enjoyed this match, probably one of the better ones of the night, I think, in my opinion.
And one of the shorter ones of the night also.
Yep.
So we got to give them respect for that too. I have not watched much Ashton Starr to get an opinion, so it sounds like you're a little more familiar with him. Is there maybe something you can tell me to look back to, or do you have kind of something on him you can tell me or someone else to familiarize us with him?
I was thinking of a different wrestler. I was completely wrong. I have seen Ashton before, like on watching one of the other different other promotions on online and stuff like that. I have seen Ashton before, but the person who I was thinking that Sandra, it wasn't that one. So I think from what I've seen with Ashton, it's not too much now. I'm thinking of just recently there was an event. Was it like some tournament? I think they had like some tournament, and like Ashton was really good with that in that tournament. Like I think they got eliminated in the first round or second round. So they didn't go too far, but Ashton, like I remember seeing Ashton, and I was like, oh, he's like that. Ashton was talented. Definitely. And after this match, I would definitely want to see Ashton back in the GCW ring because same thing. Like I think there's many different matchups that would be good and solid, fun matches to watch in a GCW ring.
Uncharted Territory. That's the place that I think that you may have seen him. If you ever watch it, maybe on like over on IWTV.
Seems like
he's over there a lot. So I've heard that name quite a few times, and I've watched it quite a few times. So chances are I have seen him before. But I want to kind of familiarize myself with him. And again, Sandra Moon's so great. But they work well together. I just wanted to mention it again. If those two end up working together again, it would be so cool to see.
Yes, I would definitely like to see this matchup again. And as you said, this was 10 minutes, and I thought this was a very good match. Like maybe extend it to 15, see what happens if they get a little bit more time. I definitely enjoyed this match. It was one of the more smoother, cleaner, technical, high flying. It was good, all around good. I really don't have anything bad to say about this match because it was fun. This was fun, entertaining match. I don't remember if you did say the victory or not, or who won or not. I don't. But just in case, no, okay,
sure, go for it, brother.
Ashton Starr does pick up the win over Sandra Moon. That will lead us to our fifth matchup of the evening, a 6-way scramble match. Once again, with a lot of new competitors, we have Jayla J, Aaron Rourke, Armani I forgot if they said it, Kaios or Kaios, Chase Burnett, The Shade, and Moondog Murray. And this was going to be a fun one because once again, we have another local competitor in here from Vegas, The Shade. Deshade, I like Deshade a lot. They have good matches, super strong, very charismatic. And you say you love the talking in the ring and talking and interacting with the crowd. Deshade is that
Yes.
person for sure, because he is just always talking all match long and stuff like that. And seeing Chase Burnett, obviously the only other one that I knew other than Deshade in this match, was kind of nice seeing back in a GCW ring. But I was interested to learn more about Jayla, Aaron, Armani, and Moondog. And this was a short match, but the purpose
It didn't feel like 6.5, man. It didn't feel like 6.5.
Yeah,
they packed a lot in.
I was just about to say, like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but they all got their stuff in. And for the the kind of the purpose of this match, I think in the pacing, because with the 6-way scramble, even though it was on the shorter, and I thought it was like just super fun and entertaining to see them all get their stuff in and then just interact with the crowd, like how Deshade did and stuff like that. When he was like carrying, I forgot which two wrestlers, but he's carrying two wrestlers like it was nothing. Like he was already holding one, and someone jumped onto him. He's just like, "Really? That's what you get? I'm still holding on to you and that person." So, what was your thoughts on this match?
Okay, so Chase is always a welcome addition. I raved over him the last Settlement Series. I'm sorry, the last Settlement Series. No, he was on the Settlement Series before that. He was on the one with the court, I believe.
Who? I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm wrong. Chase.
We just saw Chase on Black Label Pro the other night. It's about the long weekend.
Holy cow, man.
Long weekend.
I wish people knew. Okay, so yeah, he's always a welcome addition. Deshade was absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's like Kevin Owens when he was in PWG. That's the kind of interaction, that fan interaction that I love. So he comes out with that beautiful Versus Pro belt. He's the Versus Pro champion over there. Armani was the one that was really the most new to me. I've seen a little bit on Jayla J, the Samoan Diva. Really impressed after this match. You know, like she was the ball buster in this match, if anybody. Moondog Murray, I'm totally a Moondog type fan. He had that character so well ironed out. It was fantastic. He was going to be the sort of hometown hero here because he was from that Chicago area. He was another one where we have a guy doing the barks. He's doing the dog barks. So very old school, freaking love it. If you're somebody who likes like early 80s, old 70s, late 70s kind of wrestling characters, that's exactly who he is. Aaron Rourke is the last one to come out. He has a good look. He has a great outfit. He has great length. His moves look pretty good. I'm waiting to see him get a little more mature to see where his career goes. But from what he looks like now, it just looks like young, but really accomplished for his age and for how long he'd been in. So, yeah, as I'd said before, Jayla was really the hoss in this match. There was a point where Deshade ended up taking 2 men on his arms. He's just strong as shit.
Yep.
Armani comes off strong in this match also. I don't really have a lot of the high spots. It was just when you see some shit go on, Armani sometimes happened to be in the center of it. Burnett had a fantastic handspring moonsault onto Jayla. This was about 3/4 of the way through. Moondog has the crowd barking with him. I freaking loved it. Jayla put up Armani and Aaron in her shoulders and then ended up slamming both of them. And I wrote down here that Armani is a great asshole. But our winner of this match ended up being Jayla J with a spinning sit-down powerbomb on Chase Burnett. This really was a quick match. Obviously, they've never worked before, but they did a lot to make it look pretty damn good. And again, you're right. They shined. Each one of them had time to shine. But yeah, I'm like, if this was a box of, I don't give it, like macaroni and cheese, and they stuffed this damn thing full, like just so full.
Yeah, you were right. It was Chase Burnett was on the show and tell. I remember that was against ASF, so I was wrong on that one. And like I said, it's still been a long weekend. Yeah, to me, I really liked seeing Armani. Armani is another one I want to see come back. I think for me, Armani was, other than Deshade, because we know Deshade, or I at least I knew of Deshade. I think you've heard of Deshade before. Yeah. So I was obviously rooting for him, but Armani is one I wouldn't mind seeing back in the ring. I like the look. I like the attitude. The few high spots that Armani did, I enjoyed. It was fun, and it's just so funny seeing Chase Burnett out there, like still dressed up as like the old grandpa, doing all this stuff out there with them during this match. That was entertaining to me. And this Jayla J, yeah, as you said, what was her nickname again? The Samoan Diva.
Yeah, the Samoan Diva.
Yeah. Jayla was impressive too. She definitely had all the Haas moments where like, nope, I'm going to take all 5 of you out of the ring. This is my ring. I'm going to be in charge of it. And yeah, Moondog, the barking, it was what got me. I was like, right away when I heard the barking, I was like, oh, I wonder if John's going to bring up the barking because we were just talking about that. So that was, Moondog was pretty funny. And like, whenever I hear the word Moondog, I actually played on a softball team and our team name was the Moondogs because like the person who put the team kind of together was a giant Beatles fan. And I guess that has something to do with Beatles. I should know this. I actually took his class in college, but that was a long time ago as well. But yeah, so when I heard Moondog, that caught my attention. I'm like, oh, Moondog. All right, I got to pay attention to Moondog Murray just because of the sentimental fact when I used to like play softball on the Moondog. So, yeah, nice, fun, fast match. Like that was good. I was cool with that pacing because they all got their stuff in. It didn't drag out, and it was super entertaining because they all, with all their different styles and looks and move sets, they all got their stuff in. I got to see a bunch of different stuff that I normally probably wouldn't have seen throughout the night, but they all jam-packed it into this 6-minute match. So it was fun. Nice, fun match. Nice seeing Deshade again. Nice seeing Chase again. And definitely want to see Armani again in the near future in a GCW ring. And that will go into match number 6 of the evening. And here's where it gets a little crazy. We have a no DQ match with Pero going up against Kid Bandit. And just off size alone, this is David versus Goliath here. Pero's giant and Kid Bandit still fresh. I think they just had or is about to have their year anniversary of wrestling, which is crazy to think about in a year, all the places that Kid Bandit has wrestled in, not even counting GCW. That's probably like their biggest platform, I think. Well, I think maybe they had an AEW Dark match, but I consider GCW bigger than Dark because it's GCW. It's not just a throwaway match on AEW Dark. So yeah, Kid Bandit's had an incredible year, rookie year. Pero's just a big old giant monster. So having Pero go against Kid Bandit in a no DQ match, I'm like, oh, poor Kid Bandit. They're going to get annihilated, doors, chairs, and that's pretty much what happened during this match. What was your thoughts on this match, John?
You're right. Pero is large. So how large is the question? So here's what we have. He's billed at 6'4" and a weight of 293 pounds. So yeah, picture that walking around all muscle.
Feels taller than that. Seeing him in person, he did feel taller than when I saw him in person.
Well, you have to have the ring boots to make sure you protect your so it might be an extra inch or a half inch there, but yeah, that's a freaking big boy.
A big boy,
yep. And he came out looking absolutely strong just from the entrance alone. He was menacing in a way where he was slowly walking, he was staring, he was letting everyone kind of take in him and his size. And of course, we also have Kid Bandit. The fans love Kid Bandit. That's another one where I hope she kind of stays around wrestling for a while because we're in a situation where she's on the cusp of blowing up, like going out into the crowd and really getting people on her side. And even I, who had a few months ago not really heard too much, still looks at this look that Kid had put together and has a great look, So the whole thing, but okay, so now I see why the Scramble match was put together and why it was so short and why they were getting everything in. And that was because this match was a settle in your chair, a 16-minute drag out, kick the shit out of Kid Bandit kind of match. I mean, this was meant to be, and it was just a brutal match.
Yeah.
And it just got to a point to where easily established Pero's the heel in this one. And after they start throwing, after Pero starts throwing Bandit around, we're getting "fuck you, Parrot" chants or Pero chants. They didn't say "fuck you, Parrot." Yeah, but Bandit ends up finally getting out of the ring and gets that Singapore cane and starts beating the shit out of Pero with it. And then the referee starts to get involved somehow, which doesn't really make much sense, especially because it's GCW. But
and it's a no DQ match.
I know. Well, okay, so I may have put that in my notes in the very, to make sure it was complete, because it originally, I think, was supposed to be a regular match, but I thought all GCW matches were no DQ. So, but however, yeah, Effy comes out. I'm confused, man. Effy comes out, though. He announces it's his show and there are no DQs. So he tells Bandit to beat up Pero, and Pero takes the cane and actually breaks the cane and starts beating Bandit with it on the wrong end, and actually thumps her pretty damn hard in the head with the handle. So to the outside they go. Bandit gets thrown through 6 rows of chairs. What happened there can't be summed up in one sentence. Pero starts grabbing chairs from underneath and throwing them into the ring. Pollo comes over and argues with Pero, because at some point Pollo's like, no, you need to stop this. You need to, this is over. Don't treat him like this. Here we go. See, don't treat her like this. Do these. There's no reason for this. And kind of gets in the way. And at that point, I didn't know if maybe Pollo was stalling or what was going on. But my next note there was, how tall is Pollo? Because no kidding, Pollo was taller than Pero, but also I believe Pollo may have some form of platforms on with her clothing that night, so I'm not really 100% sure. But everybody gets back into the ring after some Pollo gets pushed, and finally Pero gets some asshole chance. Bandit's already back in the ring. Pero gets in. Bandit beats Pero many times with chairs, then kicks a chair into him. I don't have a better way to talk about it. You should check it out. It looks pretty bad. Bandit gets dropped back first onto 4 chairs. We get holy shit chance. It looks bad. It looks really bad. The chairs were pointed, well, they're chairs like you can sit in, but the backs were all kind of positioned against each other in the center. So there's this long line of maybe 4 inches, well, maybe 3 inches, where your back just hits steel, spine on. And that's what you see is Bandit just hit spine on and kind of bent over, poured over both sides primarily, and then fell out. And then Bandit was now choke slammed from the ring to the outside of the ring onto a table and then into a pile driver. Thank you for letting me say all that in one sentence. This match had a lot of shit in it. And again, I put most of the high spots in here because I had time to put them in, because it was boom, Pero getting hit with chairs many times, and then he has to sit there and kind of shake off 6 chair shots. Or, there's a point where Bandit gets choke slammed, onto the table. The recovery time isn't 5 seconds. So, I mean, this match was hard hitting. And the fact that they took time to have some recovery really helped make that impact even greater.
Yeah, seeing when Pero came out with his entrance wearing the chains, like kind of as a mask, I was just like chains, like I was like, yeah, this is gonna get bad, and it sure did. Like Bandit takes a beating in most of the matches I've seen them in. I've seen them do like some crazy matches in, I think it was Prestige Wrestling. Like Bandit just goes in, and like I think it's just crazy after a year. Like Bandit's moveset is pretty out there. Like it's creative. It's very like it's tough to do, obviously, because like I just like how Kid Bandit just goes for it. Doesn't care that they've only been doing it a year. Doesn't care who the opponent is. Doesn't care the setting of it. Like whatever I see, because I've seen Kid Bandit on like Twitter post like, hey, I'm gonna do the spinning kicks, or I'm gonna do like the 630 kick or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Kid Bandit just goes for it, and I love that about Kid Bandit, because like that's what a lot of wrestlers, I think, they kind of, the bigger the stage, they might just kind of fall back to what they know on, so that way they don't have a botch or don't mess up the move or don't fully connect, where Kid Bandit just doesn't care, just goes for it. And I love that about Kid Bandit. That's why I love watching Kid Bandit wrestle, because I'm always wondering like what new and innovative stuff is Kid going to pull out tonight, because every match I've always seen Kid do like something I've never seen before, or maybe not complete it fully, but still attempt something that I just thought was like, I never even seen anyone attempt it. So Kid Bandit has a lot of heart, and just in general, especially during this match, taking as much beating as Kid Bandit did. Pero's a monster. Yeah, Pero's one of those ones. Every time I've seen Pero, it's always been like in a death match or a no DQ match with chairs and doors and stuff like that. So,
well, Kid Bandit was really, I think, a great choice when it comes to choosing a smaller one that's willing to perform like their life depends on it, because that's exactly what you need to have when it's David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
You know, Goliath is going to be coming at you one way or another. And I really do think Pero played that part well. But, you know, you have that little person and they're going to have to jump. They're going to have to climb. They're going to have to throw shit. They're going to have to extend themselves to every physical capacity they can. And you're right. That's exactly how Kid Bandit wrestles. I almost could say that there are portions where Kid Bandit almost wrestles self-taught because some of them are so unorthodox and in the greatest of ways. And I think sometimes that creativity is what changes the wrestling scene.
Yeah, and as you said at the beginning of this match, Kid has it. Like there's something about Kid Bandit where there's a reason why Kid Bandit is going to all these different promotions. I think they're now traveling to like other countries and stuff. It's like I'm pretty sure they've only been for a year because I think the show that we're going to tomorrow night, Grap House, as we saw a lot of these Vegas wrestlers on this show, we're going to see tomorrow night. We talked about it before. I talked to Kid Bandit at that show like last October. I think it was right before Halloween, or maybe it was their show prior to that. But like I was just talking to them as a I was just there wearing my GCW stuff. I was there for Cole Radrick and Juicy and seeing the local talent that I love too. But I was wearing my GCW stuff, and Kid Bandit came up to me and just started talking like, "Oh, like you're a GCW fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to see Cole and Juicy, but also see the local guys as well and stuff like that." And like Kid Bandit started talking to me. Like I didn't even know Kid was a wrestler. Like this person was talking to me, and I thought like, "Oh, he knows. Like Kid Bandit knows wrestling. I know wrestling. Like, it's fun. Let's just talk and chill." And like we sat for like good 20-30 minutes during the intermission just talking wrestling, and then the intermission ended and we kind of went our own separate ways where we were in the venue. But I had no idea. So like a couple months later I see Kid Bandit like trending on Twitter. I think it was like right after one of his their matches that they did where they brought out like some sort of special weapon, like because sometimes Kid will bring out like the whatever weapon that they're going to use, they use it but like modify it into like a video game kind of style weapon. So that's another awesome and innovative thing. I like how Kid Bandit's doing, but like I had no idea. I was like, wait a minute, I just talked to Kid a couple like months ago, and like they were just chilling and talking. Like I had no idea they're a wrestler. So Kid Bandit's cool. I'm glad Kid Bandit's getting what he's Kid Bandit's changing the game. Like there's a lot of stuff on Kid Bandit that is so positive and so like uplifting for a lot of different people. And I think that's why Kid Bandit just keeps on ascending and ascending and ascending over this short year to all these different promotions. And it's just so, for me, every time I see Kid Bandit on a card, I will go out of my way to watch it just because of the innovativeness that Kid Bandit has, and to see if they grew or not, and see them on a different platform, a different show, a different promotion. Because that's just crazy for less than a year. Like, as you said, self-taught, I think majority self-taught, other than going to some wrestling schools here and there, but probably just to get into the wrestling schools and everything was self-taught, where it's awesome seeing Kid Bandit be as successful as Kid Bandit is.
Well, I would have to say here that awesome job, Bandit. Yeah. Because, Kid got an amazing round of applause for the efforts here. And honestly should, because she's going to be sore tomorrow. No lie. And, of course, Pero, badass job for him getting those boos. Okay, not gonna lie, this for me was the first strong, big match of the night. I mean, no, it felt like a good, solid, big show match, and I really like this. This one got me going. This was the first one that I went, all right, here's where the tone of the show is going to start being set, because I knew how many matches were really left, and the next match was the one I was really looking forward to. So. Yeah, that was that for old Pero and Kid Bandit, eh?
Yes, as you said, perfect. Like as you said, I felt the same way too after like watching that match and the progression of it. I was like, oh, we're getting to the main event. It's going to get like the show is going to go to another level now. Like it's going to change, and the mood kind of changed after that match as we have our 7th matchup of the evening, a 3-way match with Dark Sheik, Alley Catch, and Taya Valkyrie. And yeah, as you said, this was one of the more, for me too, like one of the 2 matches I was really looking forward to watching, because the name power alone in that match and the talent I was like, let's see how these 3 competitors go at it, and they delivered. This was so fun match. What was your thoughts on it?
Okay, so this really was the match I was looking forward to the most on the card. Val ends up being the announcer for the match. She comes out in like a white and cream outfit. It's really cool. Allie, of course, is going to be heavily cheered as expected. And my favorite to win this one, Taya. So she's a great performer. I'm happy to see her over here. I'm always going to be 100% for her because I have seen her work so hard in so many places. She's hardcore as fuck when she needs to. Her move set is incredible. She works her ass off and it shows. The match starts with Taya making everyone kiss her hand. So Allie obviously kisses her hand. And then when it's Sheik's turn, she turns around, takes her hand away, and tells her, kiss his ass. So Allie comes over and kisses Sheik instead. So everybody got their love. But outside of the ring we go fairly quick, and Taya finds a chair and pops Allie hard. Allie kind of gets mad and just runs off to the back, and everybody's kind of wondering, where in the hell did she go? Well, it took maybe 15 seconds. She comes marching back out with a staple gun. So the staple gun starts to the side of the ring, and everybody starts fighting with the staple gun. At one point, Taya staples Allie with Taya's pick that she pulls out, unfolded, right to her forehead. Then she takes the staple gun and staples $1 to Taya's forehead. Then she staples Taya's pick to her own head, and then she gets $1 bill stapled to his ass. Taya staples the $1 to Allie's head, and it gets stuck there. And this was actually the best one, and I think that's why they stopped the whole staple thing, because the one that got stapled to Allie's head that stuck there was the best one. For the next minute or two, Allie was dripping blood from that, and it looked so good because you could see it. It was like streams coming down her face. It was fantastic. The fight is finally, at this point, still outside in the seats. I think we only came in for just a quick second so she could get that staple in her ass. But Allie and Taya, they get to a point where they go back into the ring and they do like this long makeout session, and everybody's loving that. The good wrestling was going on in this match. No shit. I mentioned a lot of the high spots or not a lot of the high spots, but a lot of the more hardcore spots. There was a lot of good wrestling in this. It's funny I say that after I just mentioned that she gets pussy stomped into Allie, which, yeah, curb stomped. But I'm actually proud of myself because I never thought of that before. So, yeah, she got pussy stomped in. Allie spears Taya through a door propped into a corner. And from there, that's where Dark Sheik ends up being our winner. She hits the welcome to die on Allie. This was a lot. 13 minutes, and my notes are 16 to a 20-minute matches worth long. It's just another one where it was exhausting, man. I feel for them. They're going to be sore.
I was surprised Allie would do that kind of match, especially after the night she had the night prior, because as you said, she was just bleeding buckets the night prior, and for her to get violent again was not shocking. It's Allie, but for me, I was like, hey, if I'm going to 3-4 matches this weekend, I'll get crazy on one, but we're going to take it easy on the next 3. But that's where Allie Kat separates herself from all the other women in wrestling, and she's willing to go balls to the wall, go right for it every single night, and she delivers every single night. And all 3 competitors definitely delivered here, because we've seen kind of Taya get a little violent when she needs to be. I've seen Dark Sheik get in there with Nick Gage, and Sheik will do whatever Sheik needs to do to win the match. And Allie Kat, of course, we've seen her get just as violent as anyone else in GCW. So once I saw all the weapons come out, I was like, this is going to be fun, because all 3 can go in the more extreme, ultra violent kind of setting, even though obviously it wasn't light tubes and stuff, but for an extreme match, these 3 killed it, and this was fun. It was very fun. There was a lot of blood, a lot of violence, a lot of action going around everywhere. I loved the whole staple gun spot too, because I remember I think Sheik was wrestling against Jimmy Lloyd in Vegas. I think last August when I saw Sheik against Jimmy Lloyd, and they did a cool little dollar spot and stuff like that, where I think one of the dollar bills was more than $1, and Sheik was going to put it on Jimmy Lloyd's head. And it was like, nope, I'm putting it in my pocket. I'm pretty sure that was there, but it was fun. Sheik is funny with the staple gun, because when Sheik takes that staple gun, it's the pain in Sheik's face is just exasperated. It's I can't believe that just happened. But I am glad that Sheik got the victory here, because after what Sheik did in Atlanta that weekend was just insane. Like I said, that was her weekend, so I was kind of glad to see Sheik kind of get the recognition after all those weeks and months traveling with GCW, which is awesome. Now, like we talked about a couple months ago, her Dark Sheik now traveling around with the GCW roster, not just really sticking in LA, which is awesome to see. I love seeing like them gonna go to different territories, different parts of the country that we normally don't see them in. So and of course, as you said, seeing Taya in a GCW ring was awesome too. So these three killed it. As you said, like this was the match that we were kind of looking forward to the most. And I think after my original match of the night, this one kind of overtook it after I watched it, because I was like, yeah, that one was fun, entertaining, and a fun way to set up the main event of the evening is Effy going against Max the Impaler, who came out with one Amy Rose. I've only really seen Amy Rose kind of on Ring of Honor. She kind of like always just the corner sitting with, or she did actually. She was in a group with Kenny King and stuff like that. But I'd never seen really Amy other than outside of, or never seen her outside of a Ring of Honor ring. So that's kind of nice seeing her. First time with the GCW crew. I think it's her first time. I'm not sure, but yeah, this was our main event of the evening. What was your opinion on this match?
Okay, Max the Impaler looks great. Right? Just
Yep.
Max the Impaler looks great. They look fantastic. It was a great look. It always has been. I'm a big fan of that big, burly, kind of scary thing anyway. So this hit on all kinds of cylinders for me, because this gives Effy a real challenge, at least in my head, as somebody who's looking at a storyline here. Here comes that big beast that Effy has to conquer. Effy's music hits and fans are waving their arms, they're singing. It's really nice to hear Elton John again. I love the mix that he has with Bussy, but the Elton John is just, I'm old. Effy comes out in a pink ski mask and a nightgown with his jacket on over it. And he has these confetti tubes in his pants, and he's got confetti tubes in his hands. And he kind of puts his hands to the sky. Out comes Big Vin from underneath of him and carries and picks up Big Vin, takes him right to the ring, walks Effy around the ring, sets him out there, puts him out the front. He does this little entrance that he likes to do. But the one thing that was more important here was that Effy's arms and back were still heavily damaged and scraped up, and you could see it was just red still everywhere. There was a part on his right arm and shoulder area that was heavily taped. I mean, I could see at least an inch or so of tape that was put in there, and that's after it looks like it's been squeezed down good and taped down. It was just, you could see that Effy coming in, man, he's got to be hurting. There's no way in hell he's not hurting. So I knew this was going to be from the get-go something where Effy was probably going to be getting his ass kicked for a while, and it started out just like that. Max was imposing their will from the beginning. I believe at some point, if I listened to commentary correctly, there was a booty fishnet skin chair on sale. I need to listen a little better, but I'm pretty sure that I'd heard that right. Effy used to be managed by Max's manager, Amy Rose.
Really?
I don't know if you heard that.
No.
Yes.
I've only seen her in Ring of Honor, and like it's more like for the first longest time I saw her, she was just like kind of off to the side, kind of like the ring, not a ring girl, but like the person that rang the bell. Like she was always sitting in that area. And then in the last they say a year ago, she got into this faction with Kenny King and I forgot who else, but like she ended up becoming like a manager for this faction. So I thought that was kind of cool seeing her being able to do that stuff. So I had no idea about Effy, and I have zero knowledge of this at all. So that's kind of cool learning about that.
Yeah, so Effy used to be in a small company in Florida, and she was down there, and that's where they had worked together for the longest time.
That would explain why he did, like I was watching before, like he went and shook her hand, like, and it looked like, oh, I thought of it, like they have a history together, but with as many independent wrestling promotions, maybe they work together somewhere else that I haven't seen. So that's why my original thought was like, maybe they have worked together, but I had no knowledge of it at all.
Well, Amy forgot that about mid-match, because that's where Amy started going in and throwing in chunks of doors for Max to use on Effy. Effy's on the other side of the ring. He's throwing in chairs that he's finding. At one point, Max starts ripping off Effy's bandages and choking him with it. So we've got the ultimate heel stuff going on here. You don't mess up his bad arm, and don't, and then choking him. But Effy has chair shots on Max in the corner, sets up a chair, hits a Yakuza kick into a leg assisted DDT. That's the best way I could describe that. It was a fantastic set of moves. Then we have Effy going to the back. Again, disappears. We don't know what's going on. Comes out with that huge orange ladder from the other night with Allie's help. So he goes ahead, puts that in the ring, sets up the ladder, climbs the top, but Max is back. So now Max climbs up that ladder too. Effy gets choke slammed by Max from the top of the ladder. That's where somehow Effy rolls up Max with a rope assisted 1, 2, 3. It was a really interesting spot too, and it happened really quick, but it was a good match. And again, that music hits, and here we are with Elton John, so I can't really complain. It was a really interesting 13-minute match, and Effy took a lot more damage than I expected, given all that hard work he put in the night before.
Yeah, it was nice seeing Max in the ring too, because I just loved how, like, right before the match starts, like, Effy's just cowering in the corner, like side-eyeing, like, they're getting closer to me. Closer. It's like, and then like Max is just kind of stalking him, and then kind of just stared him down, and then walked away. But then you just see Effy kind of give like the cross, and then a little cross grab to kind of like, okay, I'm safe. Like, thank you, Lord. But hopefully I get through this match, because Max is intimidating. Like that, like Max's character is awesome. Like, what's that movie where they kind of oh my God, Mad Max. I think it was Mad Max.
Road Warriors. Yeah.
Max,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like I just like, I love the look of like, kind of like, hey, I'm the last survivor of the new modern world kind of thing, and you don't know the shit I've been through, you don't know what that has turned me into and what I'm capable of. Like, I love Max's character. It was awesome seeing it. Effy's, of course, just kills it with the reactions and his charisma, and kind of played up to it. Like, it made Max seem more scary, just him cowering in the corner. But it is pretty funny seeing that, because after the match he just went through the night before, and now he's like cowering in the corner. But it's like, hey, I just survived last night, let me survive one more night, please. One more night, let me just survive it. But this was a fun match. I don't, like I said, how Alley Catch and Effy could do what they did tonight after wrestling in that Art of War games, and just hours before, because they're like, no, that one wasn't a late night, but they still probably went out partied afterwards, and you only got a couple hours sleep before the brunch time. But
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's so cool though seeing Effy wrestle against Max, because that's obviously a match we probably would not see in a lot of places other than Effy's Big Gay Brunch. And I think that's why I kind of really like this event, because we would see a bunch of different talents go up against each other that not a lot of companies are doing right now. And that's where I give like just major props, and major props to Effy and to Brett and GCW for giving Effy that spotlight and that time to kind of run these events, because it's so important. And you could tell how much it really means to Effy to be able to put this on for the community and stuff like that. And it's awesome. And he I don't think there could have been any, well, not any injury, but like it would take a lot more than the Art of War Games match to keep Effy out of being there for his own show, and especially to main event it against Maxi and Paler. Like, Effy, major kudos. It's so awesome what you're doing. These shows absolutely keep killing it. They keep getting better. The crowd keeps getting larger and larger. And on social media, I remember, like I said, I watched half of it one night, then I had to watch the other half one of the other couple of nights after we recorded while I was editing, but to finish it. But seeing the social media presence that this show has, and how well it was received online and stuff like that, it's so awesome seeing Effy, just like how Brett gives a platform to all the GCW rosters and all the independent wrestlers that maybe no one's heard of. It's Effy's doing the same thing for the LGBTQ community, and it's awesome to see that, and I love it. And I can't wait till Effy's Big Gay Brunch number 6, because that crowd's going to be even bigger. Probably get some bigger names, bigger talent, maybe bigger, more time for the matches and stuff like that. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, and it's just so awesome that Effy, Brett, and GCW does this. I'm mostly giving it all the credit to Effy, because it's his name that's out there, and it's his product that it's got to deliver. It's his name that's going to get dragged, not Brett's, because it's called Effy's Big Gay Brunch. So it's just awesome seeing it, and I love Effy for doing all this stuff.
I will say that Max does have fantastic makeup. Like, that's a lot of work and creativity, no lie.
Yeah.
And then on my end, I will say too, on Brett's side, 100% for funding and believing in Effy's vision. I think that's really it's one thing to believe in it, it's another thing to do it. It's a hell of a lot more to put your money behind it and really, do your thing. So the end of this match, the end of this show, because we're almost getting into the memorable moments damn near before we, but Effy goes ahead, grabs a microphone. He says he is proud of what he's done today and what it's taken for everybody to come together and to make this happen. He turns to Max. He says Max and him, he's proud because he doesn't have a leash, because Max doesn't have a leash, and he loves that.
Yep.
The crowd saying, "Who fucks? Effy fucks." I mean, this is in the middle of a great speech, but he said if those aren't with him, then they're leaving money on the table. So bye-bye then. And he kind of turns his back and done with the mic. And I thought it was a fantastic speech. I thought it was a very I would say cocky in a good way, though.
Yeah,
It was very,
confident.
hey, like, look what the fuck we have here. Like, are you serious? You're going to kind of blackball us, like keep us off of the list, not give us money. Look what's sitting around this ring right now, thousands upon thousands of dollars in revenue, just waiting to be taken in. And this person supposedly is unhireable, and so is this one, and so is this one. My ass.
Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. It's so cool that Effy's giving those people that platform.
Now, here's my next part. The first thing out of my mind after that was, honestly, GCW needs that same exact speech. We need someone to sit down. I don't care if it takes weeks. I don't care if it takes 4 writers. We need somebody to come out there and say that same shit to the GCW fans one night. We need a moment that could be very recorded, like something that can be blasted out everywhere, where just one moment someone says, "God damn it, we're GCW. This is who we are," so on and so forth, and then literally just drops the mic, pan out, the crowd's going nuts. We haven't seen one of those moments in a long time, and it would be nice to see one of those. Honestly, it would be cool to just see a small pep rally. I would love to see someone somewhere work for a couple weeks on just a nice little pep rally speech. Give me eight sentences. Give me 8 sentences. It'll just drop our jaws.
And see,
that'd be so cool.
This is another reason I thought that Effy was going to beat Jon Moxley, other than he absolutely deserves it. But with the role that he's been on lately and how popular he is with the GCW, obviously, crowd and the fans and stuff like that, and with this event coming up, I just thought, how cool would it have been Effy's Big Gay Brunch? Effy just comes out as he did with Big Vin, just on Vin's shoulder, but carrying that GCW world title. It's like
with a king's crown.
Exactly. Like, hey, this is what you guys won't do, this kind of stuff for our community and all these talents and these wrestlers. But look, here's what you're missing out on. They could be a world champion for your company. They could carry your company. They could do this. And I thought, like, I honestly thought that was the kind of a not a big drop of the ball, but I just think that I would have preferred seeing that. That's kind of why, and a lot of the reason I thought Effy was going to win too, just because with this Big Gay Brunch coming up, I thought that'd be just a big, like, just cool moment. Him winning at Homecoming, him going to his own show as the GCW champion. I just thought that would have just lifted the whole thing up more and stuff like that. But Effy,
I got a great one.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just because I'm tired. I have a great idea. It would have been great to give Effy that belt. And I said a king's. No, it would have been cool to give him the Queen's crown, the actual England Queen's crown, if they could have found something like that. No. Follow me. I know the Queen kick.
Bad timing.
But bad time, right? But the Queen's crown. And it would have been cool if he could have gotten like the royal, the royal robe looking thing in the back, right? And then Big Vin would have picked him up and he would have waved. Now, here's why. There's another gay icon out there that did this move. Freddie Mercury from Queen actually had a famous for where he put on the Vader helmet and then he had the Queen's, and someone had lifted him up and he came out and waved. It really could have been a historical nod. I really hope maybe someone does hear that. What a cool little thing. But that would have been a nice little historical nod if he came out with the belt as the Queen. Like, fantastic. That's a really good idea.
And seeing all this talent too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say that's a really good idea, man. I'm really happy you come up with that. Between 2 ideas, there was a good one there.
And see when I was watching this, because I saw all the talent and stuff like that, and when I saw Effy come out on Big Vin's shoulders like that, I was like, oh my goodness, how much would that belt have? How good would that belt have looked for this show, for Effy, for everything right now? He came out wearing it. But then, like as that was happening, I immediately thought of like a king, queen of the ring, or whatever. Like if it would be kind of cool, I think, for whatever Effy does, like in maybe the next Big Gay Brunch, maybe have like whatever pronoun the wrestler uses, making it kind of like a LGBT community kind of like tournament with all these different styles of wrestlers and all the different wrestlers from that community putting on a great tournament. Like that's what I was thinking, because I was just thinking like how cool would that be if like Max and Impaler just won, and then Max ends up riding out on Big Vin's shoulders with the crown, or with whatever on the head, and with the robe, and with the little thing that they hold in the hand. Like I just always think of like Macho King. Like I was just thinking the Macho King, like whatever.
Yep.
Not scepter. Is a scepter that he was holding?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
right.
a scepter.
So I just thought that'd be kind of cool. Like Max Impaler just looking badass, but coming out, winning that tournament, beating Effy, and having the crown, the robe, the scepter, going out on Big Vin's shoulder. I just thought that'd be a cool idea. Like that's what was going through my mind. Just during that entrance, like alone would have been like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if they did like some sort of tournament. Whatever, like I said, whatever pronoun that the wrestlers want to use, or whatever, like, and we know Effy's, he's creative enough to make it a crazy sounding, or but a reasonable sounding cool name for a tournament that he could come up with that would be all inclusive for all the community to be involved with this. I just think that was a cool little idea that came in my mind, but all my ideas are kind of out there anyway, so who knows.
I think just to end this, I think it was nice that Effy was being given such a huge ovation. Max was being given such a huge ovation. Effy was able to say his piece in regards to like the gay trans community not getting enough work from promoters. On my side, I really just want to tell Effy and everyone involved, congratulations for a fantastic show.
Absolutely.
I was really happy to see that there was a big crowd there. And, just a reminder, we are all people. So that was fantastic. Another reminder, this is theater. It's very, very easy to make room for enough characters. 100%. And we need all kinds of characters, because then we can make all kinds of different stories.
That was another reason why I kind of liked how they had all those multi-person matches, is for that reason. Gave more people the time, the platform, and the crowd to kind of earn a new audience.
And I really think that maybe I'll sum this up a little. I mean, to the best of my ability, but also I hope this is the way Effy wants to see it. But I'm really hoping the Big Gay Brunch kind of helped open more minds, more hearts, and for everybody's sake, more wallets. That's what I want to say about that.
And his speech, as you said, was awesome. Like that was very motivating, but also uplifting. Not just, oh yeah, let's go rule the world. That was so uplifting, and you could tell. Obviously, I don't think he is a character. Like I think Effy is Effy. Every single time I see Effy, like it does not matter. I don't think Effy turns it on, turns it off. Like Effy is Effy, and that's what I think a lot of the fans draw to him, is because it's Effy. You're always going to get Effy. It doesn't matter if it's on his Twitch channel, if he's out signing merch, or if he's out smoking a cigarette right before the karaoke. Like Effy is Effy, and it's so awesome to see. And as Kevin Gill says, Effy is fine. Effy is life. Effy is all the good that's in this world. So I like you said, as you said, proud. I think that was not proud because like I'm not like Effy's dad or whatever, but I thought it was just an awesome moment for Effy to kind of have another successful Effy's Big Gay Brunch, and I can't wait for number 6. And that will lead us into our memorable moments of the evening. And once again, I'll want to go first this time before I forget.
Do it, brother.
You always take some of my stuff. Well, we always have the same stuff. Yeah. That's why we do the podcast. We got the same styles and everything. But my first one was love seeing the Vegas group. Love seeing Sandra, DeShade, Jay Vidal. Am I missing anybody? Was it just those 3? Kid Bandit. I'll say Kid Bandit because like Kid Bandit's always doing the Grap House shows nowadays. So Dark Sheik, same. Well, like she's always Dark Sheik's always performing out here in Vegas quite often too, or even on the West Coast. So seeing the West Coast people, I was kind of seeing the people that we always see all the time was very awesome to see, because I think that's where Jay Vidal kind of like took the next step last year was in that crazy spot, jumping off that platform at Effy's Big Gay Brunch. So nice seeing the Vegas people there. Fun, a lot of new competitors I'm now learning about. I'm going to go out and watch them. I'm going to go learn more about them and just see how fantastic they really are, because there was a lot of great talent on this show. And I just love the variety of everybody. There was not two people that looked the same, wrestled the same, or acted the same. There was so much variety, and I loved it. And then my final one was that 3-way match with Dark Sheik, Aya and Alley Catch. That just shows you, like, there is money to be, as Effy said, there is money to be made out there, and no reason to be blackballing, not taking wrestlers and giving them matches or signing them on to stuff just because of how they decide to live their life. It's just awesome seeing those three out there and killing it. And this whole show, Effy, thank you. It was awesome. Very entertaining, very informative. Like, we got to learn about that whatever Admiral Lord Darth Vader match or whatever it was. Like,
yes.
So this was a great show. Like I said, I thought I had a big hill to climb for last year. I still kind of personally like last year's show, to be honest, a little bit better, but that has not a knock on this one. This one was entertaining, and I enjoyed it the 2 different nights I watched it. The first half one night, the second half another night. Very fun show. So thank you, Effy. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, GCW, for a crazy, entertaining, violent, super fun weekend.
Okay, so my memorable moments, I'm going to start out with my, okay, no shit. I'm going to get to the point. I am totally offended. Here's why. How the hell can you have Effy's Big Gay Brunch and no fucking streamers, everybody? Seriously, I am the streamer guy. How in the hell do we have no streamers? Okay, so no
confetti.
Kidding. Yes, we need streamers too. I'm dead serious. So we need to fix this next time, fans. Please, next time we see Effy's Big Gay Brunch, streamers. Also, there are rainbow streamers out there that are fantastic. They're a little bit past my budget, but if you see them or you see someone throw them, respect them. They probably own a yacht.
That's when I saw it when Effy. That was the first time I saw it. That was what stood out, was seeing it and Effy's match against Moxley. I think there was only one thrown in there, but it was like, whoa, that's cool. Like that probably meant a lot to Effy, seeing that coming in at him, as any streamers does in general, but seeing that rainbow streamer come at him before his match against Moxley had to be an incredible feeling for him.
And then Fur Cassidy was always staring at me during the show.
Creepy.
I was eating food. I went to go take a pee. I came back. Everything I'm watching, I look up from my notes. Fucking Fur Cassidy is staring at me. I think he was judging me, but I'm not sure. Okay, so another memorable moment, my first Admiral Lord Mountevans match and its history lesson. No shit, I just hope everybody learned a little something. I've been watching almost 40 years, never heard about this, so hey, we learned, man.
All that information you dropped, was that from KG or was that you looking it up? Because I'll be honest, like, I'm about to say, I didn't hear any of that, and I'm like, wow, was I really not listening during that match? But you found it?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, about 20 minutes. I went and did some history. I kind of pieced some stuff together and made my own story. There wasn't a whole lot out there on it. But again, man, there's another memorable moment. Awesome. The 1930s were fucking hardcore. They were so hardcore they got pushed out of London for 20 some years. Like, that's a pretty cool story. Maybe there's some hardcore guys from the 30s we need to know about. I almost wonder.
See, when I think of 1930s now, because of these little gifs on Twitter, I always think of like those French wrestlers now with the catapult, on the outside of the ring. Like that. When you say 1930s now, that's why I think of those wrestlers like just jumping in on the catapult, just flying in.
Dude, we need launch pads. WWE, AEW, they all need launch pads. I want to see what happens.
And it kills me. Like, we're all talking about like, oh, that was a dangerous high spot. That was a dangerous high spot. They did this shit 100 years ago off of catapults. It's just as high and probably like a harder ring and stuff too. So I just love seeing those clips.
It was a quick, entertaining scramble. I really liked it because there was a lot of new performers for us to learn about. So hopefully we get to learn about them a little more down the road. Great job, Kid Bandit. You took an ass beating like a champion. Instant respect factor for that. I really enjoyed that 3-way match between Sheik, Ali, and Taya. I was looking forward to that the whole time. They delivered. Anytime I can see Taya is an excellent time, no matter. GCW, please, more of her. It's just, she's fucking quality. She's not afraid to bleed. She's tough as nails. She fights with men. That's a complete performer, honestly. Last thing I think here was that I never realized it could have been called Pussy Stomp this whole time. So that's yeah, I'm a simple creature. That's memorable to me. So that concludes, I think, all of the memorable moments I could remember. The only other thing is that I wish at some point we could wrap up a GCW show with an amazing promo like Effy gave tonight.
Yeah, Effy's a lot like one of those I think a locker room leader, because like when he was going through his matches like with Jeff Jarrett and stuff like that, I just remember him online cutting promos. Like it was like not even just a promo, just like, hey, like just based off this whole card, Effy's Big Gay Brunch and the LGBT community and everything. He's like, why are we afraid? Like I know probably some people in our community, they're afraid to be the world champion or put themselves out there because they're afraid of what's going to happen and the attacks that they're going to get. And then like Effy's just like, put me there. I will take it. I can take it. I've done this my entire life. I can take it, but I'm Effy. I have survived everything. That is what made Effy Effy. So if you guys like, if everyone's afraid to put it on your guys' shoulders, or as a company, you're afraid of who to put it on my shoulder, and I'll show you what we can do as a community, as a wrestling community, even with everything going on, like to improve the business and to kind of get rid of all these stereotypes and falsehoods that are being out there with these bigger promotions and maybe even some of these smaller promotions that are just too afraid. Because I remember seeing a couple shows or a couple tweets out there, like a couple of these wrestlers on this show specifically, they like maybe got a booking canceled because of, or lied to because of how they announce themselves, like their sexuality and stuff like that. Like they were blackballed just based off that. And it's just like so crazy to be seeing that that's still happening, especially in the public forum. And I just love how Effy just dives into it. It's like, oh, I'm going to take all this stuff, give it to me. I will be the one to shoulder this load, not anyone.
Well, I really do think when it comes to the local talent and in Las Vegas especially, we have a really inclusive wrestling community. To what I see, you know what I mean? I'm not in every room. I'm not hearing every story. But when it comes to seeing that type of variety out here, you know, we were just talking about, and I will talk in the upcoming show, this Scrap House, because we have so many GCW people there. If you want to talk about an inclusive show, they have one. I have never heard, I've never heard about a story out of Las Vegas where someone got shut out because of who they love. So I haven't seen that. On top of that, I'm just thinking personally, if I was a promoter, that really, I mean, candidly, I think who you're fucking doesn't really change your drop kick. Quote me.
Let's go to the title.
I'm dead serious. Feel free to quote me, but I really do feel that. I don't think your headlock changes either. You know, let's talk about that. And honestly, let's talk about creativity. You really think that changes? No. And I think creativity and drop kicks make a big difference.
Yes.
So, okay. Yeah, that's everything. You want me to go through some shows real quick and call this a night?
Let's hit them up with the upcoming shows, and we will be out of this long 4 podcast weekend.
Yeah. So do you want to go with the GCW shows first, or do you want to do them in sequential? Like, how do you want to do it tonight? Just go with GCW and go, fuck it. Why does it matter, bro?
Yeah, how you have it's pretty good.
Okay. So here we go. This is going to be our first GCW show of this coming weekend. This is going to be GCW Settlement Series Part 3. You're going to be able to catch this on IWT TV. This is going to be held at the the Boonton Elks Lodge in Boonton, New Jersey. Saturday, September 10th. This is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Again, as for right now, there are no announced participants or what the show's theme may be, but we know it's always going to be entertaining. So, yeah, if you have a chance, tune into that. Again, that's Saturday, September 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. There should still be front row tickets available, as when I wrote this, there still were. They were $25 a piece, and we also have general admission available for $21 a piece. Now, our second show on Saturday, this would be considered our larger show. This would be JCW Uncensored. This is going to be on Saturday, September 10th, though. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So this is just a couple hours later in that evening. So if you can stick around old Boonton Elks Lodge in Boonton, New Jersey for just a while, you'll be able to see 2 great shows in one day. There is a barbed wire match that is announced for this. We're talking Mance Warner versus Slade. Masha Slamovich versus Jungle Kiona. We have a GCW Extreme title Extreme Rules match. Cole Radrick versus Alec Price. Fantastic. Beastman versus Janela. A bull rope match. One called Manders versus Charles Mason. I want to see an ass kicking on Mason there. Lucha Extrema match. Los Macizos versus Wasted Youth. The Last Woman Standing match. Janai Kai versus Sawyer Wreck. Martial arts match. Mike Bailey versus Yoya. So we have a lot going on there, and I do believe there's more that's been added that since my notes, but I'm not sure. Front row are $39, second row $29, and general admission $21.
I totally forgot that's Wasted Youth. That's Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers. Oh my god, yeah, I totally forgot about that yesterday. I was like, Wasted Youth, that sounds familiar, but that's going to be crazy. The Cecil versus Mathers and McKay. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I hope those young kids, they obviously are going to be able to heal up quickly. They're going to need it after that match.
As SGC said, fuck them kids.
Oh, yeah, as CM Punk said.
That was the funnest match that when SGC went against Starboy Charlie, Nick Wayne, and I forgot who the third competitor was in that match. Another young competitor, but it was like, oh yeah, let's just put them all in the ring with SGC. Like, and then I just remember someone posted online, like the Michael Jordan meme, fuck them kids. I'm like, yep, those kids are going to be in for a rude awakening here.
So then our last match here, or I'm sorry, our last match. I'm so used to saying that. Our last show. Now, the last two shows were GCW on Saturday. This show is on Friday. This is the one that we were talking about out here in Las Vegas. And just as it just so happens, we're talking about being inclusive, and we were talking about making sure that people are getting, this is one of those shows. It's out here. This is the Grap House show. This is going to be their first anniversary show, Friday, September 9th. Doors are going to be open at 6 p.m. there. This is in Ferguson, downtown in Las Vegas, Nevada. GCW fans, if you're a fan of Starboy Charlie, Dark Sheik, Hunter Freeman, Sandra Moon, Cole Radrick, or Jordan Oliver, you're going to be able to go down there and see them. There's VIP tickets for $25 a piece. You're able to get in 30 minutes early and meet all of these people. General admission, $20. But yeah, the doors open at 6 o'clock over there. You're going to be able to see a fantastic show. They do include everybody over there, and it's going to be a fantastic time. We're going to be over there too. So yeah, support your locals, support your local independent wrestlers. Do what you can to get out there. It's going to be a fantastic time this weekend. This is a great weekend in Las Vegas and great weekend for GCW fans overall.
Yes, and big shout out to Hunter Freeman that we're going to see tomorrow because they just announced for the LA show on September 23rd, that's going to be Hunter Freeman going against Mance Warner, and that is a match I am dying to see now. Yes, I cannot wait for that match. That's going to be exciting. Once again, too, if you're looking for a space, a little easier place to find the GCW upcoming events, if you're having trouble finding it on their social media, please check out the GCWplantpodcast.com. We have an event section with all the upcoming events coming up from GCW, as well as ticket links. If you just click on the event, the ticket link will be right there to buy the tickets and go to the show. And my wife just updated because they just went on sale about a couple hours ago. The shows for Detroit and Columbus have been updated with the ticket link up there to buy tickets for those shows as well. And also on the website, you can also find where you can find us on all your podcasting places and all the YouTube and stuff like that, and find our social media. So it's a very basic, easy, clean website, and we're going to be adding more on. I'm kind of in the process of talking with a couple of the photographers we always see at these GCW shows and seeing if we could start adding some of their pictures to our website while giving them credit. And we're not making money off this website. We're not making money off the podcast, but just trying to get some more.
Are we making money at all?
Yeah. I think I'm losing money, losing sleep. I'm losing time.
I'm losing fucking sanity.
Yes, losing sanity was going to be my next one. But just try to get some more. This podcast is for GCW fans. A lot of the photographers that go to these shows are obviously diehard GCW fans as well. They travel along with them just to get the cool pictures of the action and stuff like that. So I do want to kind of talk with some of them and try to see if it's okay we put some of their footage and pictures up on our website and make sure they give credit, because obviously this is for fans. They are fans. They do awesome, amazing work with some of even their video packages and stuff like that. So please, any of those people that you see posted a bunch of GCW pictures that they have taken, please go check them out and support them, because they do awesome, amazing work. They got great footage. They put together great montages, great hype promo videos and stuff like that. But they also take great action pictures at the venues too. So that is in the process next as we continue to kind of help build this podcast, grow it, give more people a chance to be recognized and show that they're amazing talents as well with the pictures, the ring announcing, whatever it takes everybody to make these GCW shows. So we're just trying to give the love to everybody that makes GCW such an amazing wrestling product and wrestling promotion, and just keep it on GCW going. Is there any last words you would like to say, John, before we send them out of here?
Yeah, I really do think we did our best on pronouns. I think it's fair that we really do try to say that we did our best. I do think I heard a he or she on my side every now and then. I just wanted to self-admit to it now because, again, I'm tired. I'm learning about all these new people, and I had a freaking blast learning. So, yeah, nobody kill me. If anyone, any single person ever has an issue, please, 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 please contact me. I'll be more than happy to apologize or talk to you about whatever you want to talk to. But I just wanted to say we did our best because we wanted to make sure we also promote great wrestling, no matter who it is. So thank you for hanging with us as we stumble and mumble tired through this. Just remember, we had wrestling Friday. We had wrestling twice on Saturday. We had wrestling on Sunday. Then we had to review on Monday, which takes 4 or 5 hours, plus 4 hours of recording. Then Tuesday, 4 hours and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, 4, and then so honestly, thank you so much for holding in there. I am going to give the number totals at some point of how much work we put into this, but we're damn proud of what we did, and we're damn proud that we were able to do this for fans so that we all have something to listen to get us through to the next shows.
Yeah, same thing too. If I messed up anything, I do apologize. No ill intent. It's ignorance because I learned a lot of new competitors on the show that I never seen before. So if I did mess it up, once again, I 1000% apologize. Same thing. Reach out to me, talk about it, help learn, like educate me, explain what I did wrong. I don't mind it. If I have, I do sincerely apologize. There was no ill intent. Just I am dog tired. Like I almost didn't even record this today because that's how tired I am. It's been a crazy week pretty much. After tonight it's like, yay, we get to relax. No, we don't. We got Crap House tomorrow. So
fucking right. And then we've got 2 shows on Saturday.
Yes.
And dude, I ain't resting and I don't give a damn.
Yeah. So once again, anything that was wrong, no ill intentions. I apologize. We apologize. We will get better. But
much love.
A lot of learning on just competitors. There was a lot of new names this weekend. It seemed like every GCW show they were learning a lot of names, a lot of new talent. Like I now like my backlog of stuff I want to go watch because I'm seeing these competitors and I want to watch them in different promotions and learn about them and see them grow, see them get better, see what other talent and styles they do in all these other promotions. Like I'm always just constantly learning about these new talent and watching them. So it was a lot of new talent this weekend. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking out a lot more of these competitors from all 4 of these shows this weekend. And I can't wait to dive more into their development and their growth as a wrestler and see it happen in front of my own eyes, which is always awesome to me to see the wrestlers keep growing and stuff like that. So
thank you for listening. I forgot to say thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you all for listening too. It's been crazy this whole week, not just the wrestling stuff, but it's been fun. It's been crazy. It's makes it all worthwhile. Makes all the tiredness worthwhile. So everyone that is out there listening and spreading out the word and leaving feedback, we do appreciate it. We love it. It's been fun, and we're gonna keep on going and going and fucking going, just like GCW. On behalf of myself and Mr. John J. Wolf, that will be it for episode 20, GCW's Effys Big Gay Brunch number 5. Like I said, next week we'll be covering JCW Uncensored, I think it was, and
yes,
GCW's
Settlement Series,
and we'll be covering all that next week as well. So be on the lookout for 2 episodes next week. We're gonna shoot for maybe Monday, Tuesday. We'll see how the week goes, because I think after this week, the GCW has another week off. They're not going to be not going to be doing any shows as they are on their way to England the following week. Also, yeah, we don't even get a week off. They go to England that following week. So we will record this before the next GCW England shows as well. So keep an eye out on that as we cover GCW and GCW versus TNT. On behalf of myself and Mr. John J. Wolf, We will see you all on the next episode. And you totally messed that one up. It is long live
Yeah.
GCW.